Hello everyone and welcome back to Easy Spanish with Ed. In today's video I want to talk about the various uses of this little word se that causes so much confusion among Spanish learners. Here are the main categories where se is used: reflexive verbs, reciprocal actions, impersonal expressions, passive voice, and something called the accidental se. Let's take a look at each one. Reflexive verbs are verbs that go together with reflexive pronouns, and these verbs are used to indicate that someone is performing an action on him or herself. Here are three examples of reflexive verbs: ducharse, to shower; vestirse, to get dressed; quedarse, to stay. And you can spot a reflexive verb because it always has se tacked onto the end in its base form. And here's the list of reflexive pronouns. I is me, you, te; he, she, it, or usted, se; we, nos; you plural in Spain, os; they and you plural in Latin America, se. How would you say this in Spanish? And remember, the verb for to shower or to shower oneself is ducharse. You have two options. You can say me estoy duchando or estoy duchándome. But the appropriate reflexive pronoun must be included to show who is receiving the action. And how would you say, I get dressed after showering? Me visto después de ducharme. So while in English we say I get dressed after showering, in Spanish what you're really saying is I dress myself after I shower myself. And how about she is going to stay for 3 days? This is another one where you have two options. Since we're using quedar in its infinitive form, you can stick the reflexive pronoun right onto the end of it and say va a quedarse por 3 días, or you can throw it up front before the first conjugated verb and say se va a quedar por 3 días. Both are equally correct. The next category is reciprocal actions. These are situations where both parties are receiving the action. How would you say they are kissing? And the verb for to kiss is besar. It would be ellos se besan. The se is used to show the action is reciprocal and that they are kissing each other. And how about they are hugging? And the verb for to hug is abrazar. That would be se abrazan. Again, both parties are receiving the action, so it is reciprocal. The next category is the impersonal se. Se is used in impersonal expressions that are just put out there for general consumption, but not directed toward anyone in particular. How would you say ice is sold here? And the verb for to sell is vender, And the word for ice is hielo, hielo. It would be el hielo se vende aquí. See, this is the type of impersonal expression you might see on a sign at a convenience store. It's impersonal because it's not directed toward any person in particular, just the general public, and Spanish uses se for these types of expressions. So how do you think you'd say credit cards are not accepted? It would be no se aceptan las tarjetas. And now let's have a look at the passive voice. Here's one that's used all the time in Spanish. Now in English we say, how do you say? But what it really means in Spanish is, how is it said? ¿Cómo se dice? Again, in English we'd say something like, what's the name of that movie? But in Spanish what you're really asking is, ¿cómo se llama esa película? Next up we have the accidental se. This construction is very common in Spanish, and it is used to convey a sense that something has happened unintentionally. Let's look at some examples. It consists of se plus a pronoun plus a verb in the third person. As a reminder, here's the list of indirect object pronouns along with the conjugations for the verb romper, which means to break. So how would you say, I broke the lamp? But you want to convey the sense that it was an accident, something that happened completely unintentionally. It would be, se me rompió la lámpara. And what this essentially is saying is that the lamp broke on me. I certainly didn't mean for it to happen. It just broke. I know it might sound funny, but this is the way something like this is commonly expressed in Spanish. And how about you broke the plates? Se te rompieron los platos. Remember, this construction uses verbs in the third person, so you always have to match for plurality. We're talking about plates, plural, so we have to change rompió, which is third person singular, to rompieron, third person plural. And how would you say, I forgot my phone? And the verb for to forget is olvidar. It would be, se me olvidó el teléfono. And what about, y'all forgot the apples? Se les olvidaron las manzanas. Remember, the indirect object pronoun for you plural in Latin America is les. And finally, how would you say, my car broke down on me last night? And the verb for break down is descomponer. That would be, anoche se me descompuso el carro. Thanks for watching. If you found this video at all helpful, please give it a like so that YouTube shows it to more people, and that will help the channel grow. And please don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when I upload new lessons. See you in the next one. Ciao.